right at the top of the agenda?
No.
Do you have the agenda?
Yeah.
That's the meeting notice. There should be one with the agenda.
Yeah, it's not on here.
Okay, I'll read it.
Um,
I'll read it. I can read it.
Can you? I don't
Yep.
have it. Mike.
Pursuant to Chapter 20 of the Acts of 2021, this public meeting of the Lawrence Municipal Airport Commission is being conducted via remote participation. No in-person attendance of members of the public will be permitted, but every effort will be made to ensure that the public can adequately access the proceeding as provided for in the order. A reminder that persons who would like to listen or view this meeting while in progress may do so of any of the following access locations. This is being broadcast on Lawrence Facebook channel, the Lawrence YouTube channel as well.
Okay, thank you. Okay, can we have roll call now? Carla?
Sharon Birchall,
Here.
Andres Castillo, Bill Collins,
He's here. His mic's not working. He's here.
Danya Amador Matis,
She's
Danya,
here. She's here. She's muted.
Here. I'm
okay,
here.
Ernest Quartermarsh,
Here.
Jack Fitzpatrick, Dan Foley,
Here.
Bob Irving,
Here.
William Pedrick,
He's not here.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
thank you.
Okay, can I have the approval of the minutes from June 17, 2021 meeting? Seems
Make a
so
motion,
far
we
off.
approve.
I'm sorry,
Make a motion, we approve them.
Bob.
Yeah.
Bob, can you
That's
just
right.
state, when you guys approve something, can you just state your name so that Carla will know? Thank you. Bob, first, do I have a second?
Second by Danya Amador.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. The reports, Finance Committee.
Good evening, Commissioners.
Okay, good evening.
I hope everybody can hear me well. I do have some technical difficulties here, and I have also like my different devices running. I'm sorry you're not able to see me.
No, we can hear you.
Perfect. So I hope everybody received the packages. We sent them out per email and partially hand delivered and per mail as well. And as usual, we go over the revenues and expense report first. That would be the August report. And for the month of August, we too have an excess of revenues in the amount of $12,009.11. That brings us for the fiscal year 2022 to an excess of expenses with $17,509.46. As I have mentioned before, the pension was paid last month, and also there's transfer to the general fund of the services what we usually have for the city of Lawrence, and we will be certain probably already in the next month, or definitely in 2 months, we will be again in the excess of the revenues. Are there any questions to that report? If not, I go ahead to the detailed expense report. In the month of August, we had more or less all the expenses out of the ordinary. The only thing you might see here is in the site improvement. There is an expense of total of $11,836.25. And part of that is the change order of the garage roof, and also already the portion we pay for the soil testing on the north side. And I'm sure the airport manager will get into more details in regards to that. Am I correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Are there any questions in regards to the detailed expense report?
No questions?
No questions? Then let's go over the tenant payment status.
Mhm.
As you can see, we still carry over fiscal year 21. And I think that is definitely because we did not have any meetings over the summertime, which means nobody felt threatened enough to come in front of the commission to pay up, which is probably gonna be happening again next month. The only change, I did send out an updated tenant payment status sheet of the fiscal year 2022, was that Falcon Air, Hangar 4, MEMLV, and WTF Flyers paid the land lease. And that was in the attachment I did send out this afternoon, and I did highlight in yellow. That would
Excuse
be
me,
all.
Christine.
Yes,
I just want to ask you, so the four that have made a payment was Falcon Air, MEMLV, and then WTF Flyers. What was the other one?
Hangar 4, KLWM.
Hangar 4, KLWM. All right, thank you.
You're welcome, Carla. That would be the end of my report.
Do we have any questions for Christine on the financials? No? No questions? Do I have a motion? Christine, you will notify them that we are back in meeting,
Yes,
right?
I did already, actually.
Good job.
And that is why the 4 leases came in.
Good job.
And I definitely gonna invite them to the next meeting if they didn't pay up everything else.
Good job.
Thank you. Appreciate all your support.
So do we have a motion on the floor to accept if there's no questions?
I make a motion, Ernie Kudomash, that we accept.
Do I have a second?
Second by Danya Amador.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Thank you very much, Christine. Great job.
Thank you. You're very welcome.
Next is the lease committee. Do we have anything on? the
No,
lease?
there's nothing presently, but there will be next month.
Okay. How about airport security?
On the security, the security project that we have still ongoing, I thought that by the time we met next, after we had met, during June, that would be reporting that everything is all done and completed. But apparently, due to COVID, there was a problem in the company doing the business, the project on procuring materials for it, namely the boxes at the gates. That material didn't come in until the beginning of September, and since then they've been going, right off the bat to get everything taken care of. So there's a possible completion of a week to 10 days on that. They're wiring up and putting online the 3 gates. So that's the problem with that. It's not really a problem. It's just, COVID is COVID, and it's caused problems. It hasn't caused problems with the company actually doing the work, but it has caused problems with the suppliers of materials for them to actually get their job done. So they're going good. They have their materials, and they're working out the bugs and making all the connections and stuff. So again, possible completion a week to 10 days. And I was speaking to Mike earlier today, and one concern that I have is that once this stuff is up and complete with all the cameras and the recordings and everything else, it's going to be going on in the, at the airport, I think it would be a good idea to put up some signage stating that, you know, if you come onto the airport property, that, you know, you are going to get you're going to be videotaped and whatnot. I would suggest that we put signage up on all of our gates and maybe in a few other conspicuous places. The thing that would do would be, I think, twofold. Number one, it would protect us from any possible liabilities that could occur by somebody either being recorded or photographed. And also it would act as a deterrent to anybody who would be contemplating any criminal behavior or anything on there. If they knew that they were going to be having their self videotaped, that it might deter them from even thinking about it. So that's it. Week to 10 days, everything ought to be up and running. And that's it.
All right, great. Thank you. Any questions for the security procedures? No. All right, do we have a motion on the floor to accept?
Make a motion to accept the report from Commissioner Foley.
Do you have a second?
Second, Bob Irving.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, no old business, no table of matters, new business. The Aero Club of New England requests for seminar at Falcon Air facility.
I'm not sure if there's anybody on this call who will speak for the Aero Club. If not, I will.
Okay. I don't think there is.
Okay, Mr. John Cryan, who has requested this in the past as well, put this on the agenda. He will be the lead on this, and they're looking to get approval to hold the event, as the letter says, in Falcon Air's facility, the blue hangar, just to the next to the air traffic control tower. I believe it's between 9 a.m. and 1 p.m. It's going to be a workshop, seminar, an educational opportunity, and they just need, obviously, Airport Commission approval to be bringing those people that into an area that could get inside the fence line. So he's just seeking your approval, the commission's approval to host the event on Saturday. It says the 11th or the 25th. I wasn't aware that it
When's
took place.
Oh,
I think it's 25th of September.
was one a rain day, maybe?
Maybe, but I was not aware of it being prior to, and he knew the commission meeting was this night. So I think it may be the 25th that they're looking to have it on.
Mike,
Yes.
I happen to be a member of Aero Club of New England. I can share. I received an email 7 days ago that said, regretfully, due to the trend of COVID, blah, 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 they made a decision to cancel the event on September 25th and are working with their speakers to reschedule a virtual event in the near future.
Okay. Thank you very
So
much.
that was their piloting seminar at KLWM on the 25th, and it says it's canceled.
Okay.
That
Well,
may
thank
be
you.
why they're not here.
That's probably why. Thank you very much for that update, Penny. Madam Chair, I'd suggest remove it from the agenda. No action.
All right, so can I have a motion on the floor to remove this from the agenda?
So moved, Bob Irving.
Second,
Tanya Amador, second by Tanya Amador.
Tanya, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Penny. Next on the agenda is the Boston Metaflight request to lease land.
Yes.
That's in your packet also.
Madam Chair, I believe there is somebody here from Boston Medflight. They were on earlier.
I know, I saw
I'm
them.
here,
Oh, there's Charlie.
Charlie.
Charlie's in the lower left corner of my screen.
Okay.
The letter
Hi,
speaks for itself, but they reached out and I met with Charlie and Rick from Boston Medflight at their offices. They're interested in growing their base of operation here at Lawrence, and they're looking to enter into prospects of leasing from the airport itself and developing their own base here at the airport. So they are looking, I believe, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, Charlie, but at the land adjacent to the control tower, in between the control tower and Charlie Taxiway, next to the blue hangar that's in the parking lot.
Correct.
And you're welcome to fill in any other details, but I know in the past, Madam Chair, this matter had been referred to a leasing commission where the committee could then do some more in-depth discussion with the applicant and then come back and report to the commission.
I've got a quick question.
Go ahead.
Is that area, is that close to the run-up area for the runway?
It is. It would be adjacent to the run-up area. And the benefit of this, and correct me if I'm wrong, Charlie, is you won't be actually taxiing out onto the taxiway per se. You'll be launching right from your own ramp.
Correct. That's an option.
It would have to go through, Commissioner Irving would have to go through the typical planning and permitting phases, and FAA will be reviewing it as well to
Oh,
make
okay,
sure,
yeah.
it's not too close to any of the protected airspaces.
Okay, thank you.
Do we have any more questions? So Mike, do we vote on this tonight and then it has to come back, you said?
No, you would refer it to the leasing committee so that they can meet with Charlie and his representatives in order to get more information and basically come back and give a report to the commission as to really what's involved. This is the start of the process, the very
Okay.
start of the process.
Okay. So do we have any more questions for Charlie? No? Do we have any questions at all? If not, can we have a motion on the floor to refer this to the leasing?
I make a motion that we refer it to the leasing committee. Ernie Kudomash.
Do we have a second?
I'll second it. Bill Collins.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, great, thank you. Thank you, Charlie.
Is it appropriate if I say a couple words?
Mhm.
Sure, absolutely. Go ahead.
So we've been in Lawrence since 2011. There was a need for air medical transport and critical care services in the community up there. Obviously, there's a huge catchment of hospitals that we support and we have a phenomenal relationship with. We've been working with Falcon Air since the start. Thank you to them for allowing us to be able to establish ourselves. But we're a 501(c)(3) nonprofit. And so when we decide to go to a certain area of the state, it's also dictated by the Office of Emergency Medical Services who regulate us. We need to make sure there's a substantial volume there to sustain the service. And when we get to that point, we really just want to invest in our operation and in the community that we're working in and basically living in. So that's our whole intent. We want to design a facility that works for us. We do a lot of outreach. We just completed a building in Bedford 3 years ago we moved into. And so we do a lot of outreach with the local first responders and do ongoing training with them too. And so it's really just a part of it's really in an effort to be part of the community long term. It's the whole buy lease argument, so to speak, but I think we want to be there for the long term, and the area certainly supports what we're trying to do, and we want to support the community.
Great, thank you. Does
Okay.
anybody have any questions for Charlie? No? All
Thank
right,
you.
well, thank you very much. Next on the agenda. The West Ramp leasing request to sublease to Pixel Pilot.
Yes, Madam Chair, I believe there may be somebody here to speak on that, but Nick Flamier has placed us on the agenda. He's subleasing, just renting out a portion of his building to Pixel Pilot to develop their simulator. So he's just looking for approval from the commission in order to do that. Any commercial activity on the airport has to be approved by the Airport Commission before it can take place.
So what are they actually working on?
They'd be working out of Nick Flamier's property, which is down at the old 4-star location, Lawrence Airmotive. It's on the West Ramp, Gate 3. If you enter the airport between the storage facility, it would be in that building immediately to your left.
Okay.
So it sounds like a flight simulator that they're developing. Is that what it is?
That's what was expressed to me, and the second paragraph does talk to that as well. Paragraph of their letter. Is there anybody here to speak on their behalf?
Have you met with him, Mike? Did you speak with him?
I did speak with Nick, and I on the phone spoke with the gentleman who is looking to gain access to the airport, but that's how it came to our attention. He needs to get the airport commission approval before he can engage in the commercial activity. So we called Nick, and Nick's new to being an FBO, so he immediately put the letter in requesting authorization for them to sublet space within his building. It's not a new building, it's not a new leasehold, it's basically occupying space within his building, but the minimum business standards does require any commercial activity to have the approval of the airport commission before it can commence.
It sounds pretty appropriate.
Mike, I got a quick question.
Yes. Go ahead, Mr. Collins.
Commissioner Collins, we approved another sublease holder about 2 years ago, I believe, that was going to be in Nick's area. What was the outcome of that individual and his enterprise?
There is no one else in there other than Boston Helicopter. So if it was approved, it must not have gone forward. There's just Boston Helicopter and MBM, the repair shop, and Nick operating from there. There's no other business other than the request for this one.
All right, because a gentleman did come before the board and express an interest that we approved it. I'm
Yeah.
just curious how that's going.
Yeah, no, I'm not aware of them going forward on anything, and we're not receiving a piece of anything. So we're not seeing it in the rent that Nick is paying back to us, a percentage of his rent.
Maybe we could ask for some clarity on that then.
Okay.
And, Nick,
I make a
thank-
motion, we approve the sublease, Bob Irving.
All right, do we have a sec, that's, do we have a
Second
second?
second by Danny Amador. Martis.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you so much. Next on the agenda is the EAA chapter number 106, approval of events. That is also in your packet.
And I definitely know that Ms. Penny Bowman is here to speak on her behalf.
She is. Welcome, Penny. You're muted. You gotta unmute yourself. You gotta unmute yourself, Penny.
Hi.
Now we,
Sorry about that.
that's okay.
I was trying to stay on mute and then I forgot I had it on mute.
Yeah.
I must correct on my own letter. I had the dates swapped in my letter. We have 2 events we'd like to do. We still want to reach out to the public and, help, foster the goodwill with the local public with the airport. And one of the events is the Young Eagle events, except it would be Sunday the 3rd, not the 2nd, because the 2nd is the fly-in plan. Both of these events are going to be different than in the past, and that is, in the past we would have put up banners on the fence, and a horde of kids and parents would come, and sometimes we'd pack multiple families into the same plane of kids, and that's not how we're doing it. We now have an online system where parents pre-register their youth, and we have a limited number of pilots, and we try to match it as best we can so that we have 4 time slots an hour apart, so there's time for the planes to air out, 1 kid per pilot, unless it happens to be 2 siblings in the same family want to go together. Usually the parents never fly with them, but occasionally a kid won't fly unless the parent's in the back seat with them. But it's very limited. It's much more scaled down. We're not packing the planes like we usually do, and we're not going to have a horde of people there. It's very controlled, 10 per hour with the idea of 10 pilots. Actually, we have 8 right now, pilots, and a 9th or 10th possible. And we only actually have, actually this is a different event, but the plan would be to put up about 10 pilots, 4 hours, 40 kids. That would be it, all pre-registered. And we might take a walk up if there was a no-show. We had a few no-shows when we did an event in Manchester in August. So we did take a few walk-ups and registered them and filled in the slots since we had pilots standing around waiting for kids. The pilots donate their time, their fuel, maintenance. We're not allowed to give them a single penny to help cover their costs. They're just doing it because they want to help inspire kids to fly. And some of these kids go on to amazing things. We had one, I'll give you one example. We have a youth scholarship, which unfortunately the camp got canceled 2 years in a row, but we have a camp, we have a scholarship as a chapter, which we open up and we send kids to an aviation camp in Oshkosh, Wisconsin, the biggest aviation event in the world. And we've sent sometimes as many as 3 kids in one time. And when they win, we said, hey, send us a picture out of curiosity with you with plane or something. And one kid sent me a picture and I'm like, hey, that's our B-17 waist gunner that you're standing next to. And I recognize the kid next to you on the other side is your brother. That was back in June, and you've now won our scholarship worth $2,000 to go to the camp. And this is February. And I said, and you have your pilot's license already. How much had been flying before that? He says, oh, he'd never been in a plane in his life, big or small, prior to that June. And I said, and you're already a pilot? He said, well, it took him 21 days to earn enough money for his first flight lesson. But
Wow.
that's a kind of inspiring thing that a kid goes for a flight and gets so inspired. He earned 100% of his own flight training money because his mother's quadriplegic and the father's a janitor. He earned his way through Bridgewater State University, and he now flies, and I think he's about to become a captain for one of the major airlines. I
That's
mean,
pretty-
it all
pretty
started with a
impressive.
Young Eagle flight at Lawrence. So it's important that we do these things to try to get kids inspired. And if nothing else, it's a STEM thing. They learn about science and aviation. So we love to do these. And we ask also that you waive the landing fee if it applies, because some of our pilots pay to rent a plane to come do this for the kids. And when they rent a plane, the plane's incorporated, which means if they're renting it from Bedford or Nashua or somewhere, they would normally get a landing fee because it's an incorporated plane. So we ask along with this that you waive the landing fee for any pilots involved. So do we have your permission to run an event, a Young Eagles event with this limited scaled back pre-registration thing on Sunday, October 3rd at Lawrence?
Mike, are you on?
I am here.
Okay. How is that date that she changed?
That is fine. And it's the usual practice of the commission is to waive the fees in light of the nonprofit charitable organization and the benefit to the community around us and the kids. So that's similar requests has come in previous years, and the commission in the past has waived the landing fees.
Okay. So you're all set with the date change then?
Yes, that's fine.
Okay. Any commissioners have any questions for Penny?
And do you want me to go over the other one first as well before going to the vote or anything, or do you want to vote separately?
We'll vote separately.
Okay,
All right, so do we have a motion on the floor to accept this and to waive the landing fees?
I make a motion, Ernie Kudomash, that we accept it. Sounds
Okay,
like a great program, Penny.
Yes. Second?
Second by Dania Amador.
Okay, all in favor?
I,
Aye.
All right. Okay, thanks, Penny.
Thank you. And I guess I forgot to say for the newer commissioners, welcome. We are a 501c3 IRS recognized designated public charity. Our other event, a few years ago, we've usually, for those who are not familiar, we usually have an annual fly-in, and we run multiple seminars in multiple hangars, lots of planes. And we realized that just isn't fit with what's happening today. So we don't want to do a whole bunch of seminars indoors. So, but we still would like to have an outdoor gathering of planes and cars. And we did this a couple of years ago, I think maybe in 2018 or 19, where we invited a few people to show off their Mustangs and, cars at the same time. And car people like planes and plane people like cars. So we wanted to do an informal, not this monster thing. We've canceled our regular event 2 years in a row now, but we wanted to do a scaled back, informal fly-in over by our hangars with both some planes and cars coming in. And we might have a speaker outdoors or something. It's very scaled back, much more informal, just a fun event to get out for a change.
All right. And what date is it? Is that the same?
That
date?
would be Saturday the 2nd. That's where I have the dates reversed.
Oh, okay,
Okay.
got it. Any questions for Penny on that? Mike, do you have any comments?
No, that's actually very low keyed. It's on their leasehold on the north side of the airport, and there'll be no interaction with the traffic over here on the public ramp.
Okay. All right, so no, commissioners have no questions? If not, do we have a motion on the floor?
Dan Foley.
Do we have a second?
Bill Collins, I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Good luck, Penny. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Penny.
All right, next on the agenda, airport managers report.
Welcome back, everybody. At first, I noticed Christine McSorley's hand is up. I don't know if she had a question or there was a reason why.
Yeah, that had to do actually with the approval of the third point on the new business.
The West Ramp leasing request and sublease of
Yes,
Pixel?
yes.
Okay,
So it was my understanding, the last communication I had with Nick, that he at this point was not even sure if that gentleman will be staying in his hangar. And
okay,
I was still waiting to hear from him, but did not.
okay. We've sent that to leasing,
Right.
so,
But that would not be needed to be sent to leasing if it's obsolete.
Okay, that matter was actually voted and approved to sublease. But Christine, are you saying that Nick had indicated that this gentleman is not going to be taking the space?
That he wasn't sure exactly, that it seems more likely that he will not be staying, that he actually will be. But I was waiting to hear back from Nick and I hadn't heard.
Okay, I haven't heard either. So to be erring on the side of caution, maybe whoever was on the prevailing side, we have a motion to reconsider and then just table this matter so that we can clarify it.
yeah, that's what I was just gonna do. Okay. All right, so can we have somebody make a motion to table the West Ramp leasing request to sublease to Pixel Pilot? Take it off leasing and table the matter?
It was approved to my knowledge.
Right, we would first need somebody who was in the affirmative for it to make a motion to reconsider.
Yeah,
Have it second.
I'll make that motion, Bob Irving.
Yeah, my second, Ernie Kudomash.
And now a vote on that.
Now we need a vote to table it.
Well, first, the motion to reconsider has to be voted on.
Oh,
It's been made and seconded.
oh, I see, okay. A motion to,
Bill Collins, I'll make a motion to reconsider that, number 3 on the Westland precinct.
Second by Dania Amador Martis.
okay, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, now we can have a motion to table.
Now a motion to table?
Make a motion with table. Bob Irving.
I second, Ernie Kudomash.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you, Christine.
You're welcome. And if you like me to, I can, in addition to try to communicate with Nick, to go over there and talk to that gentleman in person as well.
Yes, that would be great.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Okay, airport managers report.
All
You're
right,
up, Mike.
thank you, everybody. Welcome back. I saw most of you at some point during the summer. It's good to see everyone again. All the staff here is healthy. There are no COVID impacts on the staff, but as you heard from Commissioner Foley, there have been some COVID impacts on the projects. I'll start giving you an update of the ongoing projects that we have. The first, you heard Christine talk about the DeRosa site. That's the land on the north side of the airport. They were working with the North Andover Conservation Commission to investigate to make sure everything is clean. We've contracted with Stan Tech's Environmental Services Division. Bob Dunn can clarify, or maybe Dom, what the.
You're correct.
Okay, and they will be undertaking some boring sampling on September 30th, the end of the month. We hope to have it done during the summer, but coordinating all the schedules, the North Andover Concom has Conservation Commission has an agent that they would like to be present while we're doing it. So we're trying to coordinate all that and put it together. And then the drilling, it's busy season for them, but we were able to get everybody in line, and Dom has been coordinating this, and it's going to take place on September 30th. I appeared before the North Andover Conservation Commission over the summer just to give them an update. They're very happy. They're appreciative of the commission moving forward on this to investigate it. The tenant will be contributing to the cost, and will be hopefully submitting a grant. I was told by the environmental individuals at MassDOT to submit a grant for the balance. So we should come out whole, not costing us anything, which is great. Our electrical vault project, again, COVID intervened. They were working full guns to get it done, but unfortunately there was a hang up with the heating and cooling units within the building, the vault building. So we've had to issue a stop work order, I think maybe 3 weeks ago, and we're waiting on that vault building to be built and then delivered to the site. So we're anticipating starting up sometime in early to mid-October on that project. As Mr. Foley indicated, the security project we hope to have done on June 30th. We ran into some COVID supply issues, and thankfully the boxes that were necessary are in. The contractor worked diligently, got everything, all the infrastructure in place, but there was no box to assemble all the electronic equipment in for the gates. So now that they're in, they've been going gate to gate, installing the box, filling it with the equipment that's necessary, and then bringing the boxes online. So they've been working diligently with that, and we're finally seeing all those little loose ends being connected and put together. And as he indicated, Commissioner Foley indicated, we're hoping to have all the gates up and running under the new system by Tuesday, if not Wednesday. And then we'll keep shaking the system down to make sure all the bugs get worked out of it. Our master plan is moving forward. Irvin Deck couldn't make it here tonight, but he is adding some additional chapters, and he hopes to have a meeting of the PAC, the advisory committee, in early to mid-October. So once he informs me, I will then inform the individuals on that committee of the next meeting. The obstruction analysis has been concluded. The Stantec was doing an obstruction analysis of the approaches to the airport. They have completed that plan and that study, and have identified the need to acquire easements over various properties that fall beneath the approach plane to the airport. So our next big initiative will be to acquire easements for some properties in order to remove those trees, those obstructions. And the FAA has made it very clear that those obstructions must be removed. They're actually a condition of our grant assurances that we will keep the approach surfaces free of obstructions. So if we don't pursue it, it would be a violation of the grant assurances. So we are moving forward with that, and Dom is working diligently, and he and Randy and Bob, we've spoken with the state and the FAA, and it's becoming a AIP project to acquire the easements necessary, and then the follow-up will be the removal of those obstructions after the easements are acquired. That's what I have on the project side of things. We ended our fiscal year, June 30th, solidly in the black. I know Christine sent out a financial report to the commissioners when she had it, approximately $146,000 in surplus last year, which was great. Our fund balance is now approaching close to, it's not certified yet, it won't be certified until October, November timeframe, but our unofficial figure, it's about $780,000, which is good because we have some big project coming up in the future with taxiway realignments and hopefully a new administration building here. We did have an unfortunate incident on August 19th. A jet came in after the tower closed. It was a little bit after 10 o'clock, and geese had roosted on the runway, on the approach end of runway 5. And the aircraft came in about 1,000 feet down the runway and had a bird strike with approximately 40 geese. So we're working now. We're in the hunting season, but I also have discovered an individual who has his waterfowl endorsement, for lack of a better term, a permit to hunt. So he's going to come in, he's going to help us eradicate the goose problem by hunting them. So we'll be working closely with him because he's not familiar with being on an airport. So we will escort him where he needs to go in order to remove the geese that have decided to make our thresholds and run on safety areas their home. We're working also in the wildlife control program to get the deer that are now starting to really encroach. I know Commissioner Collins has talked about deer as well as coyotes, and I have a contact now with a gentleman who is a coyote hunter, and he's got the permits necessary, and I guess it's lawful, and I will be checking with the Department of Fisheries, but it's lawful for them to hunt at night as well. We spent approximately $10,000 for the United States Fish and Wildlife to come out and do it. Their permits allow them to fish out of, to do this work out of season. But if we can do it for free with hunters during season, we're going to try that. And if it does, continues to remain as a problem, then we'll again contract with U.S. Fish and Wildlife to remove that. I received a phone call from the mayor's office maybe 3 weeks ago, and then an email that the Commonwealth of Massachusetts has reached out to the city of Lawrence to participate in a Clean Cities program. And they want to demonstrate electric vehicles and the impacts they can have and how they can be used in the city environment. They wanted to demonstrate those vehicles on the airfield side, but I told them we couldn't. There's too many complications for doing that. And also could possibly run afoul of grant assurances. So I did offer up our parking lot and entrance road where it was long enough that they could drive them up and people could be on the grass and watch from a safe distance, that they could see the demonstration of the vehicle. So tentatively it is set for October 2nd, which I'm happy that there's no longer a conflict with the Young Eagles. At 2 o'clock in the afternoon to 6 o'clock in the afternoon, the state will bring in a couple electric vehicles. I really don't know what they are. I don't know if they're cars or buses. I haven't gotten to that level yet. But when I do, I will share the information with the commissioners. They're looking to demonstrate how these vehicles can be utilized in the urban environment and promote a clean city. And I'm happy that Lawrence got selected, and more happy that they thought of us to come up and use us as the display area. So it'll be exciting. The airport, in a sad matter, played a role in the celebration of Sergeant Rosario Pichado's life on Tuesday. When it was disclosed that she had passed away or was killed and was coming home to the city, one of our tenants, Mr. Martin Allen, who's the proprietor of Avpro, the banner towing company Avpro, reached out to me to contact the mayor's office and or the family to express his sympathy, number one, and condolences, but also that he would be honored if he could fly the U.S. flag over her services. So I don't know if any of you saw the services that were at Florence Stadium, and the U.S. flag that was flying around was actually donated by Mr. Allen and his company Avpro. He bared the cost of that and arranged it and worked with the mayor's office to do that. Also, I received a phone call from the officials who were very intimately involved with the proceeding and what was going on that day. And there was supposed to be a flyover with the Air National Guard providing the aircraft, but unfortunately it was unable to take place because of budgetary commitments. So they called and asked if we could possibly have the state police helicopter fly over the ceremony. I tried to reach our unit here in Lawrence, but unfortunately there was no one staffing it. So I called the FBO and I spoke with Mike Gassetto, who was the line man for the company. And he informed me that there's no one on right now, but he said, let me reach out to the sergeant in charge. And he called the sergeant in charge for the massed air wings and explained what we were looking to have done. And I received a phone call within 2 minutes from a gentleman from a trooper out of Westover. And they went up immediately and they came through and they flew over honoring Sergeant Pichado. And I was told by both former Secretary Urena and the funeral director Farah that you couldn't have picked a more appropriate time as they were taking her to the hearse to take her to the cemetery. So it was a small part in the process, but the airport was involved with honoring the daughter of the city. And I really want to thank publicly Mike Gassetto from the Lawrence Jet Center, because he took the initiative to go above and beyond and call somebody up the chain of command to make sure that we got that aircraft up in the air. And then on a somewhat sad note, hopefully it doesn't come to fruition, but over the summer I was approached by our working foreman, and he'd indicated that he loves working here. He thinks it's a great place and he wants to continue. Unfortunately, financially, it's a burden to him, and he really needs to think about his family. His daughter's in college now, so he's exploring other options, and he's looking around. He'll stay as long as he can financially, and he won't leave us in the lurch. He'll give us enough time, but he is looking for other employment. And I just mention it now because there may be a time that we'll be without him. We're attempting to assist him with overtime availability, understanding that we have to make sure we have enough resources for the summer. I mean, summer, there's a Freudian slip, for the winter, for the plowing. But we typically do deplete our overtime in the calendar year. So I'm trying to get some resources to him now and apportion it out, have them come in and take care of some special projects, knowing full well that once we hit December, July and February, it's January and February, it's going to be, I really do want to go back to the summer, obviously, isn't it? It's going to be snowing. So he'll be getting a lot of overtime then. But I just bring it to your attention now that there's a potential that we will be short-staffed this winter. It will be a loss to the airport, but we've operated short-staffed before. I just wish him well, and obviously family first, and he has to do what's best for him and his family. That is it, Madam Chair. If there are any questions of the commissioners, I'd gladly expand upon anything I've said or answer any questions you might have.
Any questions, commissioners? If there's none, do we have a motion on the floor to accept the manager's report? Hello? Somebody make a motion to accept Mike's report.
So moved, Dan Foley.
Second,
Second, Colin.
thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much, Mike.
Thank you.
Public comments. Do we have anybody here that would like to speak? Mr.
Madam
Dunn,
Chair.
Rich, Dom.
Yeah,
Bob,
actually,
do you want me to go first, or do you want to?
well, actually, as usual, the airport manager did a bang up job, so we don't have to do much.
I know.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Mike.
And Commissioner Foley.
Yeah, but maybe with the airport manager's permission, we could comment briefly on the CIP meeting and the Taxiway Charlie project, just bring everybody up to speed. Dom, if you'd like to do that.
Sure. So yeah, good evening, commissioners. Nice to see everyone.
Good evening.
So yeah, we did have a CIP meeting with FAA and MassDOT last week to review the airport's 5-year CIP. And I would, as Mike said, they were definitely pushing the property easements on some of the properties where we have some obstructions to the runway approaches. So that project, I think, was slated for 2023, but it's going to be moved up to this coming year. And then, as Mike said, the obstruction removal project will follow that. Bob, is there anything else from the CIP meeting? Okay.
No, that's fine.
So I will say on the security upgrades and the lighting vault project, Cullen Electric is doing a great job on both those projects. They do high quality work. They don't complain, at least if they do, I don't hear them complain. And they've been a pleasure to work with. So hopefully they'll continue to win future projects at the airport.
Excellent.
Yeah. Mike already talked about the lighting vault project. All the underground work is done. And like you said, we're just waiting on the building. They also replaced the sidewalk in front of the terminal for anyone that hasn't been there within the past, I don't know, month or so. So that they did a nice job on that. So that looks really good. And then I think the only other project that we have going on is the Taxiway Charlie extension project. Right now, it's just kind of in a conceptual design phase and a preliminary permitting effort. So the goal of the project is to correct the non-standard airfield geometry, which mostly relates to Taxiway Delta. The issue with Taxiway Delta is it provides direct ramp to runway access, both from the west ramp to runway 523, and then from the north ramp to runway 1432. And then the other issue is it crosses both runways at a sharp angle. FAA typically likes to have the taxiways cross at 90 degrees if possible. So FAA doesn't like either of those situations. So this project will eventually remove Taxiway Delta And then taxiway Charlie will be extended up to meet taxiway Foxtrot, which will end up creating a second parallel taxiway to runway 1432. So that's pretty much all I have. Bob, anything else you want to cover? Anything I missed? Or otherwise I
No,
can take any questions.
No, I think that's fine. The only other thing is the garage roof. That's pretty much over and done with. I believe Mike paid the last invoice from the contractor, if I am correct on that, Mike. And
Yes, we have. And I think that may have been something that Christine was talking about earlier as well. There was a change order on that project, and the change order wasn't timely presented, but was justified in it having to be done in order to get the work done before June 30th, which was the state's mandate for funding. So we negotiated the change order down and paid a percentage of the change order that was requested, because that change order, or the delay in presenting that change order, did increase our engineering cost for review and justification of the need for the change order. So I was able to negotiate it down, and we paid the difference. Again, the state picking up 80% of that cost, but the last payment was sent to them, and I believe received maybe 2 weeks ago.
Right.
It was sent September 3rd. Yeah.
Commissioners have any questions for Dom or Bob? No? All right. Well, thank you, Bob. Thank you, Dom.
Thank
Great
you
to
all.
see everybody.
Nice to see you too. Anybody else like to speak that's here?
Actually, I did have a question.
Sure.
Our chapter is behind gate 4, and actually it's been kind of nice where it's been open. It's made it a lot easier to get in and out when we have our meetings. I've been to other airports in Massachusetts, and they have a badge to get in, but they have the car drives up and it detects that and it opens to get out. When we have our guests at our meeting, we have to escort every single one back to the gate to let them out, and it's a long exit. Is that going to be how the new gate system's going to work as well, that we still have to badge out as well as not just drive up to get out?
Yes, Penny, that is exactly how it's going to run. And the reason for that is accountability. We know who's on and off the airfield at what time. And actually, Commissioner Foley and I had that discussion today about a scenario where you might need to know some information. And it's helpful to know who's still on the airport. And that's the point. And that's why that was done and designed that way back in 2007, I believe. It was so that there's accountability of who's on the airfield, because if you have people badging in and then they can leave at will without any accountability as to who left, we don't know if somebody may have been around to see something. If there's an event that took place on the north ramp at 8 o'clock at night, theoretically, we could look at the system and say, well, these people came through the gate and were still here. They didn't leave until after it. Let's go approach them and ask them if they saw or heard anything.
Okay.
That's what it's really for.
Well, then I do have a question then about one of our newest Young Eagle coordinators doesn't have a badge. I went out and made sure he knew where to get tables and chairs and everything for our next event, which actually is supposed to be in Nashua this weekend. And he went to schedule an appointment, and he flies for JetBlue, so he never knows what his schedule is for next month. And the earliest appointment is a month plus away to get a badge. Are you going to make more appointments? Because all of a sudden there's going to be people who can't get in that gate who are going to need badges.
It's been challenging for us because it's been a constantly shifting goal line, and we've been trying to keep people. We don't want to tell them a week and then they call back. We say another week and then call back another week. That gets aggravating for people. So I know Christine's got a list of everybody that's out there, and if it goes online in 3 weeks, she'll be calling people to say, well, new gate's online now. Why don't you schedule an appointment?
Okay. Because I told him to schedule an appointment. He said, I can't because the first one is over a month away and I don't know my schedule yet, is what he told me.
I'll let Christine speak to this, but it's probably because we were trying to put it out into the future so that we're not angering people, calling them every week saying, nope, sorry, it's not done yet. Sorry, it's not done yet. We'd rather surprise people and say you can come in early than keep aggravating them, telling them you got to go down.
Like Mike mentioned, it had a lot to do with not knowing when the project actually finishes and when
Okay.
we actually going to put the new system into work. Yes.
Okay, okay. Yeah, he was like, when am I ever going to be able to get a badge?
Yeah, I understand his frustration. We are frustrated ourselves too.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you.
Anybody else have any questions or comments? No? All right, thank you everyone for your participation. So any commissioners have any comments? Want to say anything or? No, I have a question though, Mike. How's the restaurant doing?
They're doing very well. They were very busy over the summer, to the point where it was problematic for them to keep up. I know that Commissioner Irving frequent said he could speak to the volume of business. They were looking forward to the fall coming, to be honest with you, because it would slow down when the kids went back to school. But they seem to be doing fine. They have a good business every day. It's not as busy as it was last month, but I think it's what they were looking for, a little bit of a slowdown. It was challenging for the staff. They're being overworked. And I think they're welcoming the breathing room that they've got now.
All right, perfect, great. All right, so our next meeting will be October 21st at 6:30. Is that correct? The third Thursday, yep.
Yes.
Are we still gonna have this virtual? Or are we gonna have it in commissioners?
Well, I prefer to have it at the airport, but we'll see where it goes,
Yeah.
this epidemic.
All right, Christine, they'll keep us informed. Because if we do, everyone will have to wear masks.
Okay. You let me know, and that's how we post it.
Okay. All right, any other questions? No? All right, do I have a motion on the floor to adjourn?
Yeah, I make a motion that we adjourn. Ernie Kudomash.
Do we have a second?
Second, Bob Irving.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you all. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, commissioners.
Thank you. Have a good
Thank you,
night.
everyone.
Thank you. Thank
Bye.
you, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Thank you.
Good night. Thank you.
Hey, Bob, you still there?
Yeah,
Tell us what type of aircraft that is.
say again?
Tell us what type aircraft that is in the picture Mike Miller has.
Oh, I have no idea.
I could find out. I'll talk to Tim.
Can't tell either.
Give
Yeah.
Bob an easy one. That's a Twin Beach. It's a C-45 Expediter Air Force nomenclature and civilian version C-18 Twin Beach.
Wow, Mr.
Very
Criminal.
good.
Hey, oh, good job.
Beautiful plane. Beautiful plane.
I'm used to
All right.
flying airplanes